Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. So the other day I was listening to, on my news feed of Facebook, I downloaded Facebook for my birthday. So, I'll be coming off because, again, Facebook is not very good for me because I get involved in conversations with people on Facebook groups and then I just spend hours and hours not being productive. So I'm soon to come off. But while I was on Facebook, a video came up, and the guy is one of, I would say, my rivals. He's sort of my competition. He's in this space. He helps men in sexless relationships, and so he was having like a group coaching call. So I thought I'll listen to it and see what they're talking about, and it was quite interesting. I think there's some value to what you were saying, and I don't know if there's a part of me that was a little bit biased to myself, that I was extra critical, so I was not really objective, and I was finding it very difficult to be objective, but I can say that there is some valid stuff that he was saying. I think the biggest one for me was the guys just getting them to take personal responsibility. And I think one of the things that most people, when they're in a sexless relationship, they tend to look at the other person and say it's their fault that we're in a sexless relationship, and they negate looking at themselves and seeing where they can improve, or at least see where they're contributing to it. So I thought that was really cool. And then the other bit was there was some good advice in terms of navigating situations, but he was spot on in the sense that a lot of it then comes down to the conversations, the interactions, and how you have those interactions. The only thing that I felt like was not the right thing was he was getting them to bend to the woman's will. Now, there's a part of you that needs to, there's a part of you that doesn't need to. And the best way of explaining this, the way he was getting them to, or the way I see it sometimes when you bend to somebody's will, is, I don't know if you guys, I'm 41 now, and I remember I used to watch a lot of Western films. So I would watch these cowboys, and I used to find it quite hilarious when this guy comes in and he's like the bad guy, and then he comes in and he's causing chaos, and he gets this one guy who's quite weak, and then he doesn't want to shoot him because he doesn't have a gun, can't even afford a gun. And then he shoots at his feet, and then you see this guy is dancing because he's shooting at his feet. Oh, and then it's just this sense where he's being put down. And this is how I see when you start bending to somebody's emotions and will and so on, is that generally, if they are already anxious and they're already prone to stress, prone to depression, if you cater to that, you be like that guy who's just jumping and sort of dancing to the bullets, and that's what it looks like. And whereas my picture of what we do is understanding your self-worth and understanding that you work off a set of principles. And in those Western films, that's quite popular for, like, the good guy would come in and then he wouldn't even draw his gun. He'd probably turn his back and say, well, are you going to shoot an armed man in his back? And because back in the day, that was quite, you couldn't do that. That was considered murder if you did that. And that's somebody who's their self-worth. And like, okay, I see where you are emotionally, in a negative place. You want to fight. You want to have a go at me, but I'm not even going to engage because this is pathetic, basically. And that's the sort of level that you have to be, because then in that sort of state, that person actually grows, so they get to see themselves for what they're doing, and you can actually grow as a couple. So that was the only thing that I felt like maybe you could have done a little bit better. By no means he's doing way better than I am in terms of the marketing. He's very good at putting himself out there and putting out content. So in terms of getting information out there, he's way better than I am. It's just the information that we might disagree on, because for long-term success, you can't be the guy that dances to a tune. You have to set the tone. And this is why we talked about stuff like dominance and why that's important within your interactions and within the sexless relationship, how you can reclaim that. By reclaiming that, again, it's puts you closer to that place where you are having sexual success for a long period of time. Because a lot of you guys are not going to face that if you're dancing to a tune and you're dancing to everything that is negative that is happening to your relationship, and you're trying to bend your will to suit her, it becomes a terrible place. In fact, I think the worst, and I'm being super critical here, the worst advice I did get from was this guy who's trying to win his wife back. She just moved out, and you're saying go to a doorstep and send her some food, and then go and show up at a place. Now, if you guys know me, that's the least thing I would ever do. You don't chase. You never chase. If your wife has moved out and you want her back, the best thing that you can do is actually go on dates. And there is a law of the fact that sexual competition, and you have to make sure that person is way more beautiful than what you consider your wife is, or at least even younger, or whatever it is. The fact that you are sort of not validating it by chasing, and you're now sort of moving on, that will make a chase. And most people say, well, what if I've already dated somebody, she won't trust me? Well, you're broken up, so you're better off actually. In fact, I'll put it in the story so you can understand what I'm saying. So I remember once, I was actually telling this story yesterday. My housemates, it happened to be a couple, and one of the girls was bisexual, and she was incredibly hot. So, and for me, it was, I think I've told this story before. For me, it just became out of ego. I wanted to sleep with this lesbian and say, like, look, I converted a lesbian. So yeah, the motives were bad, but she would flirt with me. Sometimes we'd drink, would sort of over flirt, and then it was just never got anywhere, and she would reject me. And we got into this cycle where she just got happy with me chasing her and her shutting me down. So with this little dance that we're doing, and then got to a point where, I just got fed up with the whole thing, because I was like, you know what, I'm really trying my best to do something here, and I keep getting shut down. So it was really affecting me, and I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to even chase after this woman anymore. And I so happened to meet this girl that I ended up falling in love with, and like I was like really crazy, head over heels over her. And as I introduced them, the girls could notice that I was head over heels over this woman. The weird thing happened. She started trying to get me to bed. Now, I was in love with this girl, so there's no way I was going to cheat on her. But she made it explicit. In fact, got it to the point where she was literally holding my peace. Like, let's do it. I really, really want you. And that was the time when I really understood that sexual competition is really powerful. I stopped validating her sexually, and I stopped chasing after her. And because my focus was somewhere else, she had to find a way back for me to dethrone that other girl. And basically that's what it was, that I need to dethrone this person. And I've now seen that this person is dedicated, can fall in love, and is exactly what I want. So most guys, they focus on this thing where they want to get her back, and they feel like they need to be even more dedicated in order to get this woman back. But really, what she needs is you to be scarce, and really allow that scarcity to create attraction. So I don't know why I went that tangent, but hopefully somebody needed to hear that, and especially if somebody's left you. And in fact, it was because of the guy who was advising somebody that you need to chase even more. And I don't think that's good advice in terms of chasing. You can only chase if she's giving you that permission to chase, and that's another topic for another. Because again, when there's a thing where she will give you hints on you chasing, and when you can recognize that, yeah, you can chase, you can do those romantic things, and she'll give you that sort of confidence to do so. So thank you very much, guys, for listening. Hopefully that's been impactful for you guys. By no means do I think that guy is doing less than I am. He's actually he's more effective than I am. He's speaking to more men than I am. He's better business minded than I am. So he's doing other things that are really good. But in terms of sexual success, I think there's a few things that are lacking. So, and I'm not going to mention his name. I think it's unfair to do so. But I thought it's something that I could talk about and get you guys to think about as well when it comes to choosing coaching. Is that you need to start considering long-term success. What does that look like? And for us, we've got 100% success with it. And it's, when I say long-term success, I've never got a reoccurring customer saying, okay, shit has gone wrong. We deal with the root problem, and when we deal with the root problem, we make you into the guy that is continuously sexy within that relationship. So thank you very much, guys. See you guys soon. Take care.